Did you know in the original draft for The Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon Jinn never existed? Let's talk about it. This information comes from the Star Wars Archives by Paul Duncan, episodes 1 to 3. June 22, 1996, George Lucas. I finished the rough draft and the revised rough draft, and now I'm starting on the first draft. I've got a lot more to go. In the very rough draft, Obi-Wan was essentially by himself through the first third of the film. In the first 10 pages or so, there was nobody for him to play against. Then Jar Jar Binks appears, but he's comic relief. The Queen operates in a different world than the Jedi. I have to develop a relationship between her and Anakin, because that's where the real story is. But I wasn't able to develop Obi-Wan's character fast enough. When I got through the rough draft, I realized that I had a second Jedi that comes in about halfway through the script, who is an interesting character, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought of the things I could do with these two Jedi together, because one alone didn't have much to react to. So it's kind of funny that Qui-Gon wasn't invented yet, but Jar Jar was. Personally, I'm happy that Qui-Gon was put into the film. I think a movie just with Obi-Wan and without a master wouldn't have relayed the same sort of emotion as Obi-Wan being a young, learning Padawan. If we didn't get Qui-Gon Jinn added into this movie, then I wonder who the villain would have been for Episode 2. I guess maybe it would have still been Dooku, but it just wouldn't have been Qui-Gon's master, as we wouldn't know who Qui-Gon was. Unless they would have started The Phantom Menace off with Obi-Wan being a little bit older, more wise, and therefore maybe having to start Anakin off at the Jedi Temple as well. What I personally would have liked with the prequels, and while I love them of course and everyone knows this, I would have liked for Episode 1 to be kind of a mix of Episode 1 and 2 put together. So Episode 1 would have Anakin as a kid, but we wouldn't focus so much on it and have that be the whole movie. We would have some sort of a time jump halfway through the film, and then we would jump into Episode 2, whereas Episode 1 would really finish maybe halfway through Episode 2, and this way we could get more of the Clone Wars, more of an understanding of the clones, of the Republic, of Palpatine, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and the rest of the Jedi. I'd like to make a video about this going in further detail, but anyways, for today's video, what do you think about Qui-Gon Jinn being added in later on and never being an actual part of the original script when George was starting to write Star Wars, the prequel trilogy? And did you know that George's idea for Star Wars came originally from his idea of two people fighting and one falling into a volcano? He wanted to film the prequel trilogy first, but the technology did not exist yet, and it was very expensive compared to the original trilogy. So that's why he waited, as well as the fact that he likes to start stories right in the middle because it's exciting and more fun. Qui-Gon is my favorite Jedi that George has ever created, and I'm really happy that he did put him in there. So let me know what you guys think about this information. Are you glad we got Qui-Gon in the film, or would you rather this started off with George's original idea without Jinn? Thanks for watching today's video, guys. You can catch me on Star Wars Theory Podcast, and I will see you all in the next episode right here on Star Wars Theory.